In this video, I want to show you the basic structure or the basic skeleton of an HTML document. And this is going to contain elements that you will use in every single HTML document you create. And keep in mind that an HTML document is just a web page. It's the back end of a web page that allows us to render things to the browser for display. So let's construct our basic HTML document. First of all, everything within your document is going to be contained within HTML tags. So we'll go ahead and type our opening HTML tags, and as we've talked about in the last video, a tag is simply a keyword that's contained within angle brackets. So we're going to put the word HTML between angle brackets here. Now some people will ask, does it matter if these are lowercase or uppercase? Well, technically no, it doesn't matter. Technically, in most browsers, whether you use uppercase or lowercase, it will render just fine. However, convention dictates that we use all lowercase letters within our tags. So just get in the practice of using all lowercase letters. Do not use uppercase letters within your tags. It's not going to cause any errors. Everything will still look fine on your page. But you never know. Someday when they upgrade to HTML 8.0, they might have a requirement that everything's lowercase, because right now that is the convention. So make sure that you type everything in lowercase just so that you're used to it. So we'll put our opening HTML tag here. I'm going to hit enter a couple of times to skip a couple lines, and then we'll put our closing HTML tag, which, if you remember, our closing tag is going to be identical to the opening tag, except that it has a / in front of it. So / HTML, and then our closing angle bracket. So all of our HTML document is going to be contained within these two HTML tags. Now there are going to be two major sections inside the HTML tags. We're going to have the head section and the body section. The head section is not going to define anything that you'll actually see on the web page. The head section is going to contain things like metadata, such as keywords and a page description. And that page description won't actually show up on the page, but it's very important to include one because it will show up in search engines. So we have, keywords, descriptions. You also might have links to external JavaScript files, links to external CSS files, or you might even have some CSS code within that head section. And then in the body section, you'll actually have all of the content that's going to appear on your web page, such as paragraphs, images, tables, things like that. So the way these work is I'm going to hit the tab key just so that we can keep this clean and really see what's going on here. And then we'll have our head section. So our head section is contained within an opening head tag, and I'll hit enter. And you'll notice that in Notepad, in Notepad++, when I hit enter, if I've already indented one line and then hit enter, it's going to automatically indent every line after that. So that's very helpful. So we'll go ahead and skip a couple lines, and I'll put the closing head tag here. And then I'll hit enter a couple of more times, and we'll put our opening body tag, which is the word body within angle brackets. Skip a couple lines, and then we'll put our closing body tag, /body. Now don't be confused with the / and the backslash. You need to use the /, which is the one by the right shift key. Don't use the backslash. The backslash is just above the enter key. If you use the backslash, you're going to have some problems. So make sure that this right here is a /. And that's the basic structure of your HTML document. Every HTML file or every web page you create is going to have this basic structure to it. Now obviously it's going to have a lot more content. In the head section it's going to have some metadata and things like that, and in the body section it will define everything that's going to appear in your actual web page. But again, I just wanted to point out that this is the basic structure. It's very important to understand, it's very important to know, and it's very important to include all of this in every single HTML document you create. Now technically, you could create an HTML document that looks like this. You could save this file as an HTML file. You could save it as index.html or hello.html or something like that, and then upload it to the web, or just view it on your local browser. And when you view it, it will actually show up. It will show up as a web page. However, technically, I would advise you against doing that. Let's hit Control-Z a couple of times to get back to the point where we had our entire structure. Even if you just want some basic text on there, I want to advise you to build out your entire structure here, and then inside the body tags, we'll go ahead and type in our text. Now this is going to render the exact same way it would render if we didn't have all of this other markup. However, this is definitely the way that everything needs to be done. Because once again, you never know. In the future, they might get more strict in their browsers, and they might not let you render any plain text that doesn't have this markup around it. So you always want to get in the habit of using all of this markup. Now in the next video, we're going to talk about something called the DTD. And the DTD is one more piece of code that you need to add to every single HTML document you create. So we'll get to that in the next video.